The United States has thousands of troops deployed on bases across the Middle East, a region in which Washington's forces have carried out repeated military operations in recent decades. Israel launched an unprecedented air campaign against Iran last week, and US President Donald Trump has said he is weighing whether to join Israel in the fight. US involvement in the conflict would likely result in attacks by Tehran on American troops in the region, who were already targeted by Iran-aligned forces in the course of the Israel-Hamas war. Join us as we tell you about the countries with major concentrations of US forces in the Middle East, which falls under the US military's Central Command. Bahrain. The tiny Gulf kingdom hosts an installation known as Naval Support Activity Bahrain, where the US Navy's 5th Fleet and US Naval Forces Central Command headquarters are based. Bahrain's deep water port can accommodate the largest US military vessels, such as aircraft carriers, and the US Navy has used the base in the country since 1948, when the facility was operated by Britain's Royal Navy. Several US ships have their home port in Bahrain, including 4 anti-mine vessels and 2 logistical support ships. The US Coast Guard also has vessels in the country, including 6 fast response cutters. The United States has troops at various installations in Iraq, including Al-Assad and Erbil air bases. The Iraqi government is a close ally of Iran, but also a strategic partner of Tehran's arch rival, the United States. There are some 2,500 US troops in Iraq as part of the international coalition against the Islamic State jihadist group. Baghdad and Washington have agreed on a timetable for the gradual withdrawal of the coalition's forces from the country. US forces in Iraq and Syria were repeatedly targeted by pro-Iran militants following the outbreak of the Gaza war in October 2023, but responded with heavy strikes on Tehran-linked targets, and the attacks largely subsided. Kuwait has several US bases, including Camp Arifja, the location of the forward headquarters for the US Army component of Central Command. The US Army also has stocks of pre-positioned material in the country. Ali Al Salem Air Base hosts the 386th Air Expeditionary Wing, the primary airlift hub and gateway for delivering combat power to joint and coalition forces in the region. Additionally, the US has drones including MQ-9 Reapers in Kuwait. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar includes the forward components of Central Command, as well as of its air forces and special operation forces in the region. It also hosts rotating combat aircraft, as well as the 379th Air Expeditionary Wing, which includes airlift, aerial refueling intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, and aeromedical evacuation assets. The US has for years maintained the presence of its troops at a series of installations in Syria as part of international efforts against the Islamic State group, which rose out of the country's civil war to overrun large parts of Syria and neighboring Iraq. The Pentagon announced in April that it would roughly halve the number of its forces in the country to less than 1,000 in the coming months as part of a consolidation of US troops in the country. Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE hosts the US 380th Air Expeditionary Wing, a force that is composed of 10 squadrons of aircraft and also includes drones such as MQ-9 Reapers. Combat aircraft have rotated through Al Dhafra, which also hosts the Gulf Air Warfare Center for air and missile defense training.